everybody. My name is Otto Von Clutch.
And I'm Ref Amber. Thank you all for joining us once again.
And we are here for the episode of Harley Race. That is right, the legend, the myth, the man, Harley Race.
The self-proclaimed personification of wrestling.
He sure was. A tough guy he was. So we did a little deep dive and a little recap of this week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
That's right.
And let me tell you something. We definitely learned a lot about Harley Race from this episode.
Yeah, a lot of the history of wrestling right out from this episode. So another wrestler once again who started at a young age. He got his first paycheck in wrestling before he even had his driver's license. So
imagine that, being able to serious.
How could I cash this paycheck now without a freaking driver's license at the bank? Come on now.
And really just really was wrestling in the days of, they talked about, the carny days of him wrestling in the carny.
That's how he started.
True carnival shit.
Yeah.
And then basically being trained by the Zabiscos.
Yes, Zabiscos. And they're kind of did like a work train program with them, working on the farm, and they would, teach him how to.
They would stretch him.
Yeah, exactly. Stretch him in the barn. My goodness. So this was actually a very interesting episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I was very stoked to be able to sit back. No tears for this one. Just nothing but a lot of wrestling knowledge, and really just a pioneer. One of the first guys ever to have a table match. Or not table match, but use tables in the table spots. Yes.
Yeah, and just some of the outside bumps that he would take. Just taking backdrops, pile drivers, suplexes, German suplexes on the concrete on the outside.
Giving his body just completely
to the business, absolutely, and just innovated Mick Foley to want to wrestle that style. And being able to do the flying headbutt, basically.
Yeah, he's the originator of that move.
Of the flying headbutt.
Tons of other moves, that
goes on and on and on.
Yes.
So we're going to deep dive real quick into this, Ref Amber.
We learned from a young age, he grew up very poor, which, then by the age of 14, that's when he left home. That's when he went and, trained. And then we learned about how many injuries and how much metal this guy had in his body from all the different surgeries he's had to undergo through this business and the injuries of it.
And definitely just kind of touches in his early career, the tragedy that he had. It was Christmas Eve and he was driving at 3:00 at night, and his wife at the time was pregnant with his first unborn child, and they passed away right there at the scene. They were driving down a snowy bank. Freaking truck in front,
bigger jackknives,
and he hits it, and my gosh, so there was tragedy right there. So Harley never loved Christmas after that, and there's no doubt why you would like Christmas after something like that.
Almost seemed like he didn't really care about too much after, because I guess one of the wrestlers was saying in the interview that he used to drive 30 miles an hour, just drive the speed limit all the time. And then after that accident, it was like,
Yeah, it got pretty
full
crazy.
Force.
But yeah, definitely just a passionate man. We learned how passionate he was. And that's really just resonates to me personally, because, here we are talking about pro wrestling. I'm a wrestler, Amber does, refereeing. We love this industry, and to be able to see how passionate he was about pro wrestling from a young age, being out there on the schoolyards and letting people just punch him in the gut as hard as they can. Just punch me in the gut. And just things like that. Ooh, spooky. Hello there, Harley. And just really spooky, scary shit was happening, man, just now.
What about the story about him knocking out the school principal?
Oh, my God. So, yeah, he leaves school. He's like, guess what? I got to leave.
It's a good day for wrestling.
It's a good day for wrestling. I got a wrestling booking. The principal takes him into the class or into the office and grabs him and tries to fuck with him. He, boom, knocks out that teacher, fucking beats the shit out of him. It's crazy.
School, man.
That right there, that's the new class president right there, Harley Race. My God. Beats the principal up. I mean, the principal's it's crazy. And then I don't know if we're going to be all over the place right now, but Mr.
Probably.
McMahon, Mr. McMahon tried to fucking, poach the territory. We all know this. It was 1983. Mr. Senior gave it to Junior. Good old, VMK goes out there.
Trying to get that WrestleMania roster ready.
Oh, absolutely. So he brings in freaking Harley in, tells Harley, hey, I know you got Starrcade coming up. It's a big event. You got to drop the title to Flair, yada, yada, yada. Fucking Harley Race says, there's no way I'm going to your company right now.
Like for $250,000?
I'm protecting the business over here in Kansas City. And he fucking chop blocks Mr. McMahon.
No, Mr. McMahon chop blocks him.
Mr. McMahon chop blocks Harley Race.
And he gets him in a chokehold.
Harley Race gets him in a freaking chokehold, chokes him out, drops him on the freaking ground, dude. I mean...
And the guy still offered. He still wants to go work for him later on in life.
Hey, McMahon's like, hey, man, I actually respect this dude. This dude's a badass. He doesn't give a shit. Keep going. Let's move along, Amber. I'm sorry. I totally hijacked this.
So when he was working in the carnivals, how about when he had to be kind of the caretaker for that huge, monstrous, what was his name? Happy Humphrey was 700-pound mammoth of a man.
Just envision Fat Bastard from Austin Powers, okay? And Harley Race is paying his dues by, let me tell you something. I might have had to tape some people's ankles up in the past. I might have helped people take their tape off of their ankles in the past. This man has a freaking mop, and he has to mop freaking Humphrey, washing off the BO on the man. I mean, talk about paying your dues. Harley Race is a wrestler's wrestler. My God. Keep continuing, Amber. This is crazy.
All right. Let's see. So then he finds love again with Ivana.
He finds love with Ivana, the first wife.
Flight attendant.
She's a flight attendant. He says, hey, I'm going to go get you a slice of pie, baby.
No, come meet me for a slice of
blueberry pie.
And a cup of coffee.
A little love is going on. A little love triangle. She falls in love head over heels for this man that's on the road 350 days out of the year, only home 3 times a month. And continue.
They were just pretty much saying how at first he was a kind, she thought he was a kind person, well-mannered person, kind of shows her change of opinion throughout the different stages of their relationship.
She doesn't put him in a good light.
No, not really. And then the story about him at the event, some guy giving grief to the woman next to him, right?
Yes.
And then the guy comes up, stabs him in the back 3 times, the guy's buddy. And then he shows, so I don't know how much of this is true, but along the lines of
allegedly.
Yeah.
He shows up with a freaking machine gun. He finds out, hey, this fan is having an argument with this woman. He goes over there, Harley goes over, hey, what are you doing? Well, that fan has a buddy behind Harley that stabs him in the back, how Amber just says. Harley ends up finding where this guy's address is at and shows up with the machine gun. Pop, 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 pop. Fucking crazy, dude.
Crazy.
And let's talk about more crazy. Fucking, he doesn't like Hulk Hogan, bro. At this point, he shows up to the WWF arena, lights the fucking ring on fire.
Because they show up to his territory.
They show up to Kansas City. They show up to KC. And Harley Race says, no, Hulk Hogan, nuh-uh. I am going to burn down the ring. So he shows up at like 2 o'clock, sipping back on a little yak, and boom, lights the ring on fire.
Got a pistol in his pants.
Pistol in his pants, and we're not talking about his penis. Sorry. I don't know why I just said that. Continue, Amber.
No, you already told a story about the McMahon story.
The McMahon story was an epic one. Oh, shit. What is going on? Continue.
So then he joins the WWF. From there, he becomes like the original king of the ring in the WWF. And then he didn't really like the character they were explaining, but he was just making a paycheck, giving it all just to make that paycheck for the family. And then he gets this massive injury with his intestines during a table spot.
Bro, so he's wrestling Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's laying on the freaking table. The table has these 2 metal bars on the side of the...
Something wasn't unlocked underneath.
No, let me tell you, earlier, he tried to burn down Hulk Hogan and shoot him in the face. That's what it sounded like. So now, all of a sudden, he's wrestling Hulk Hogan. He fucking blows his intestines, jumping from the apron onto the table. The inside of his belly button, dude, blows up. Has to get 300 to 400 stitches eternally inside of his body, dude. This guy drops 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It's rough, bro. It's rough, dude. It's rough. Oh, gosh. We got good old Nate. What's going on, Nate? We appreciate you for tuning in, bro.
Nate?
Otto Von Clutch has his own plushie. That was so incredibly cool. That is right, my man. We do have a slam buddy out there, and we got another one coming. Otto Von Clutch, legend. You know what? I wish I was a legend. Hopefully one day. But thank you. I appreciate you, bro. We love you guys. Never forget about you. Let's continue, Amber. Let's finish this up.
Oh, kind of going to the second almost tragedy. He's at the lake house.
Gosh, he wakes up in the morning drinking scotch
and starts the morning with scotch.
We all know how this
on
ends.
The boat on the lake.
Which was so in the story, it's kind of like 2 different stories that are so he wakes up in the morning, conflicting. Thank you. He's waking up drinking scotch, and then he goes off on a boat. But then when that's the wife telling the story. But then when Jerry Briscoe tells the story, he's like, he was driving the boat late at night where there was no light outside. It was all dark out there, you know. And I'm like,
well, he couldn't see them. I don't know what was.
Couldn't find the guy. Didn't have his light on the other boater. Harley Race fucking rides his boat right into the boat. My God.
And luckily, no one died. I mean, people were seriously injured, but
and there was a lot of money taken. You know, he definitely took a hit financially from that.
Yeah.
Cause you know,
definitely. Yeah. And then after that, he got arrested. The wife filed for divorce and left the house. And then he got hit with a $250,000 lawsuit from the boating accident. And it was kind of hard for him that was like all he had pretty much in his savings. So what he had worked up and earned. And I'm sure he was, sending money to the wife and the son. And then WCW comes and hires him as a manager. Yeah. Didn't want to put him in the ring because they didn't want to, hurt his body anymore, make his body.
He did wrestle though in WCW. They were showing footage of him in WCW wrestling.
They were showing it, but after the boating incident.
Yeah, he was messed up, man.
Yeah, no. He was managing Van Vader, and then he did the good old Secrets of Pro Wrestling video expose.
Yeah, he was like, fuck it, kayfabe's dead. I'm going to tell all the... And I love it. In the video, they don't show his face, right? It's all black, but you see the bleach blonde hair still.
And they like barely muffle the voice.
Yeah, you're like, you see the cigarette, it's the tattoo still on the arm. No, Harley Race. Harley Race was a hell of a wrestler, guys. Definitely, it was very educational. Once again, he joined the WWE Hall of Fame in 2004. Passes away, sadly, in 2019. And we're not going to get into details on his passing. You got to go check out the Dark Side of the Ring episode. Honestly, dude, this was probably one of the best episodes I've seen. It was very educational. I did too. It was like, it was dark in the fact that these things had happened throughout his career, but it was very educational. And that's about it, guys, really. Any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
That's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. And thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate all of you. And we'll be back next week with the next Dark Side of the Ring episode, which is going to be Chris Colt, which is, I guess he's doing LSD and he's seeing spiders coming in from the cage. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, guys. We love you. Stay classy. Be nice to each other. And until next time, this is episode 24 of You Ought to Know. We're getting dark. Oh, my goodness. And there's the sunset. We're going off into the sunset. Thank you guys for joining us.